everyone, welcome back to Lehigh River Subdivision. I'm Ian, and today we're going to be doing layout update 26. I know it's been a while since I did a layout update, and not too much has changed. I did do some work. There was a few weeks there where I didn't touch the layout at all, and now I've gotten back into it, and I'm putting in like 20 or 30 minutes each night, or maybe an hour on the weekends when I have time. March was a pretty busy month. Plus, I just got bummed out from winter. Sick of the cold, sick of the snow. I'm just ready for some nice weather. Sick of looking at trees without leaves. Winter gets old quick, and it gets a lot older the older you get. That's funny. Anyway, so we're going to take a look at, I did get the wash done on the Viaduct. So we're going to take a look at that. The one thing, I'm still learning on how to do acrylic washes. They are a little funny to figure out. I had the bridge to a point where I liked it, and I'll talk about it in the video too. And then I overwashed it, and I was able to fix it. So if you do something and it doesn't turn out the way you want it, do not panic. Just relax. Step away from it from a little bit if you can't think of a solution, and come back to it. And I was able to fix it, and I'm happy with it again. So the bridge still needs a clear coat. The other thing we're going to take a look at is the area right here where I'm at. I did a lot of work in this river area, and we'll take a look at that. And then the one last thing is we'll take a look at the retaining wall, as I added the accent colors to that, and that's pretty much ready for a dark wash and weathering wash and clear coat to seal that up. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at. You have seen the YouTube shorts. You'll notice I've gotten the Berkshire back. I'm going to be doing a whole video on that, so hopefully soon. I'm going to try my best to get some more videos out here in the coming weeks. But my whole April and May is booked with things to do on the weekends. So hey, I work on it when I have time, and I do what I can, and I'm sure most of you understand that as well, because you go through that with your layouts. And if you don't have a layout and you go to build one, you'll find this out too. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was this train layout. So with that being said, we'll take a look at this stuff, and at the end, which I mentioned this later, but at the end we'll take a look at the Berkshire running, and I have a little clip of Cam as well, watching one of the trains run around. So thanks for watching, and let's get into the updates. Hey guys, we're back over here in the curved deck girder area, and in last update there was clamps on this section, and I showed you this before I put the plaster in. One thing I forgot to mention from doing that and then pouring the plaster in here was I built this box with this 2-inch foam on top to come out, and I completely forgot to mention that I put that section in that last update. So at the end of the last update we put the plaster in here. So since then I went through and smoothed that plaster out. I just used the chisel, I think, or I forget what I used. I scraped it down. Might have been a screwdriver. Flathead screwdriver works for that. Anyway, I knocked that down flush. I started piecing in little pieces of foam to get this up to be my edge of the riverbank. Then what I started doing was I have this 1/8-inch thick foam board from the dollar store. So I was using this and cutting it in layers to build up where I want the river to be, because I'm going to use Sculpt-A-Mold to form it so it's all plaster, so when I pour the epoxy we won't have any issues. So I started building that up, and I've gotten it from back there to here, and I think I'm going to put one more in We're at 5/8 now, so it'll take it to 3/4 of an inch high if I put one more in. So that's where I'm at with this section. So I did get a lot of terrain in this area, and now you can see how nice this section looks with it bumped out, because without it the track was right against the edge, if you don't remember. Well, it was back a little bit, but it was awfully close. But now it gives me room to do a little scenery in that section. And then up here I'll probably run a 45 across, because my ultimate plan up here is the track's going into a tunnel back there. So I plan to bring a mountain all the way out to the edge, so this town's kind of separated, and then I want to run a branch off to serve a couple industries here. So if they're on the other side of the mountain, if I'm filming here, you won't really see the industries that are right there, if you get what I'm saying. And so that's kind of a bit of the plan of where I'm heading here. I got the next section in, and I plan on doing the river in 2 pours when I get to that point. So somewhere right around this bridge, the river's going to drop a little bit lower than that, so I can pour the top part because it would run over a little bit, and then when you pour your second part, you can hide the little bit that runs over from the first pour. So somewhere in here is where it's going to step down a little bit, and I'll use rocks and whatnot to hide that. But I'm you can really start to see how the river is starting to shape up through there. And hey guys, I'm out here in my garage, and I've done the first wash over the finished coat of the stone accent paint. So what I did was took Territorial Beige. It's cheap craft paint from Walmart, and I did what I did here. I filled the cup with half of water and added some of the paint and made a wash, and then I hit this with Territorial Beige. It's really hard to see it in here, but you could see it outside. It has changed the look of the bridge. What we have here is the second wash, and this is a mixture of coffee bar or chocolate bar brown and the pewter gray. And that's going to give us more of a prototypical look here on the Stubbrook Viaduct. So I'm going to go ahead and wash this. As you can see, I'm just using a brush, one of my painting brushes that I use for doing homes and trim work and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in here now, since it's supposed to thunderstorm and I don't want to move it once it's wet. So I'm going to go ahead and wash this, and we'll be back when I'm done with the wash. Hey guys, we're back with the Viaduct here, and the last I showed you was the wash with the Territorial Beige. I went over it with the brown gray, and what ended up happening was I got it to a point I liked it. I was really happy, but I thought I needed one more wash. Well, when I did the next wash, as the water ran down, it softened up all the paint that was on there, and it kind of mixed and then covered to the point that you could no longer see what was underneath it. It was almost like I painted it. So I overwashed it. So I ended up coming back inside with it here, so I could have the shop light on it directly. And what I ended up doing was I would take a brush with clean water and I would just work, and I'd soften up what I had washed on here, loosened that up, and I got all the excess wash off the bridge, and now it gave it this really nice, look that it has. So I'm very happy with this. I went through and did the same thing because it was too washed underneath. But you can see the whole color of the bridge has changed. I'm colorblind, and I feel like it's darker than what it had been, and that's what I was looking for, to darken the bridge up a little bit. And now as you look, you see a bunch of different colors, and it looks aged in spots where maybe it got faded more. And I think this looks pretty well weathered. So where I'll be at next will be to hit this with some spray paint. I have matte clear coat to go over top of it. The one thing that did happen at some spots, if I can find one right here, I think that's one. Yep. So soften it up. Some of the stone accent paint actually came off when I softened this up. So that was an issue. But luckily I put it on really, really thick, and it's still good. So you can kind of see at the bottom, you see all that acrylic paint? That's what the whole bridgehead looked like, and I wasn't happy. And I was able to salvage it without having to go back and buy more cans of the stone paint, because that's not so cheap if you keep recoating this thing. So it was fixable, and I'm happy with it, and I think it's going to look awesome once the backdrop's in and the bridge is set back down where it belongs. So that is the last update for the bridge in this layout update. Okay, and the last thing I have to show you in this layout update is the retaining wall. The last I worked on this was, you remember, I fixed the top cap there, painted that, and I painted the base color on the stone, which is that dark gray. I believe it's pewter gray, if I'm correct. I came through and used territorial beige and a light gray, and just kind of brushed using like the dry brush method, you know, get some paint on there and then knock it off by brushing it onto something and then coming onto the rock wall to paint it. So I went ahead and went around and did the entire retaining wall now, all the way over to there. And you can see it's got some really nice colors popping here and there. And then what I did after I was done with that part was I came through and I mixed a light gray wash and went over just the rocks with it, filling in a little bit in between some of the rocks where it stuck. So I'm very happy with the way the retaining wall has turned out. There you can get a really nice look at it. And then once the bike path and I get some, you know, grass and do some static grass in here, this will all come to life. So I just wanted to show that. That was one little thing. I mean, it's a time consuming thing to paint those two colors and go through and just hit rocks here and there. But there's no wrong way to do it, because I just kind of went through and eyeballed where I want to add color, and I think it turned out quite nicely. And the next step for the retaining wall will be to add some dark wash. Probably mix either a dark gray or flat black with a water and run it down the top and the rocks. And once that's done, we'll be clear coating it. And when we get to that point, I will show you what I plan to clear coat this with. But that is for another update. So I want to thank you guys for watching. We're going to go ahead and finish up. I'm going to show you some clips of the Berkshire running, as you have seen some. And hopefully I will have a video out soon, a complete overlook of the Burke, since it's returned to the Lehigh River subdivision. And that will be it for me talking. And enjoy these clips here at the end. And I'm going to throw in a little bonus clip of Cameron watching a train on the lower loop. Take care, everyone. Where's the choo-choo? What is it? What is it? Where's the choo-choo? Choo-choo, I'm watching you.